This ain't the show your uncle's heard of.
But it's probably the one he'd respect if he didn't. Welcome to Kill Kit, the newest series from the Southern Collective Hunting Podcast.
We're not here to hype up the latest gadgets or talk about the gear we've never put through the ringer.
This is field-tested,
Hunter-proven.
the kind of gear that actually makes it into the woods and not just your shopping cart. We're talking saddles, optics, arrows, boots.
Every piece of kit that helps get it done when the pressure's high and the stakes are real. You won't find us at the top of the charts, but you better hope you don't find us at your gate.
No fluff, no filler, just the gear that works and the stories that prove it. This is the Southern Collective, the underground voice of the die-hard Southern hunter. If you're here, you're one of us. Welcome to the fire.
Okay, so this is not the Kill Kit episode. It is not playing the correct. When I just clicked on the Riverside Live intro. In fact, I'm taking a screenshot of this right now, so I can send this to Riverside. That is not what we're doing. We are here live. This is a SoCo Live event. If I thought that this was going to do better the second time, I'd replay it just to make my life easy. But I'm not going to do that. So, dude, I am glad you made it. I had my reservations if you were going to be able to get off the water. You know, there are certain exceptions that I make for guests if it's in hunting season or if it's a season and you're on something hot. Like if you're stuck in a tree and you can't make it because you're waiting on that big deer to move out of the field, okay, be late. We'll stall. We'll figure it out.
Right.
Fishing is close. That's close.
Yeah,
so
close second.
How many 10-pound bass were you on tonight?
And buddy, none. I don't think I caught one over 2 pounds, but it was quantity, not quality tonight, right? Man, they were just they were tearing these little brush hogs I was throwing up, and I couldn't get off the water because I was like, dang. I mean, I know I'm not catching the quality, but it's just, I mean, it was like every other cast, and this was the first time I've been out bass fishing all year. Me and a buddy of mine, we took my little bass raider out. Our state parks have a little reservoir that's a bunch of flooded timber, and we go in there and bass fish it. But man, we had a good time in there.
Flooded timber. I heard mallards.
Yeah, well, this is a state park, so they would hang you if you were.
So there are mallards, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's wood ducks, that's for sure. There's a bunch of wood ducks, but
yeah, for the right amount of ducks. Listen, I'm not an outlaw for a lot of stuff. However,
Right.
For a hot mallard hole, I probably would just go ahead and see some some jail time, or at least risk it at least, you know.
Right. Yeah, I had to find something to do with myself because this time of year I'm kind of like I don't really want to be too intrusive in a lot of places, and just kind of trying to lay back a little bit right before season's getting ready to kick off, and looking at some new spots. But I don't know, sometimes I get so anxious and antsy about it. I'm like, I got to do something else, or I'm gonna be going somewhere I shouldn't be and sweating and walking through there and I'm ruining everything. You know, somehow I got to find something else to do.
I'm jealous of you people and your early deer seasons. My season is October 25th, and I'm trying to come up with ways I can get into the woods in September, and it may just come down to buying a daggum Georgia license. But if I buy the Georgia license, then I got to figure out how to also afford the Alabama license, and I just think I'm going to stick to the original plan, and that's just be really boring until October 25th or middle October when Alabama opens up, and be a good husband until then.
Goodness gracious, that's a long time, buddy. October 25th.
Well, I said
I've been working
Alabama, so like I think that's like October 13th or something like that.
Oh, dude, we've been weaseling our way back, dates back. I mean, we're like, oh man, we should go here. It's got a September 1st opener, and now me and a buddy of mine, we're lucky enough to have a little piece of private. I mean, we're stuck on it. It's not like a piece of public you can just run and go free, but you're in a tree hunting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So, and it's actually, well, what's today's date? It's the 15th. Comes in the 15th August.
There it is.
Their bow season, and so we're not going to get to make it down this weekend, but we're hoping to go next weekend and see what we can see.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Get to have a little, kind of get to knock the rust off before your season comes in. You know what I mean? Get to go down a weekend. No pressure. We don't even really run cameras down there. It's just, we just kind of go down there and see what happens, and it's nice. Just knock the rust off.
It's Walt and his man crush. Matthew says no. He's been replaced with Cody D'Acquisto. So
Oh gosh.
so so funny story, Jacob. So we went to the Whitetail Roadshow. We got to be Parker's groupies, and we got to follow him to go give a seminar. And
Oh yeah.
when we got there, I've we had that episode with Cody, and it's been one that
Yep.
just like his idea of keeping it simple. It built very much on the foundation of you and I last summer, right? Keeping it simple. And
Right.
so, um, we went up there, and the man's just ripped with tattoos, right? And what none of my friends know, because I look just, I've got an old man, I got like a mayonnaise white guy name, right? Walt, right? It is what it is, right? And
Yeah.
so, like, people haven't been around me, A, when I have the aux cord, or B, when I lose my temper. Like, I'm not very refined, right? And if you've ever had me on speakerphone around your kids, you'll figure that out really quickly, right? It's
Right.
just not a good experience for most anybody. And so, I've got a whole album in my phone of tattoos, and I have for a long time, and I've never been able to afford hunting gear and tattoos, but I've hit the point in life where I can kind of balance both of those. And my wife has just been tearing up the tattoo game lately. And so I tell the guys, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get a tattoo this weekend. Like, oh, you're going to be like Cody? Yeah, you're gonna grow some dreadlocks like Cody D'Acquisto? I'm like, here we go.
Listen, the tattoo, I'm not too worried about if you do that. Listen, you grow your hair out and you start dreading it, shaving the sides of your head, getting the I'm gonna start worrying about you. All right, wearing this Umo stuff. All right, I'm gonna start worrying about you.
I'm gonna do. I think the most extreme I'm gonna do is I think I might do mutton chops for my Missouri trip. I
Right,
think I'm gonna do just like the so.
right.
G95 is on here stalking you. He said you could be hunting right now in South Carolina.
Yeah, I know that. What's today's date? Is today the
14th.
15th?
14th.
14th. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
See, tomorrow we could be hunting tomorrow, but it's just not going to work out between family stuff. Right now is not the time to be pushing it. You know what I'm saying?
Sure. Yeah.
If I'm gonna push my luck with the old lady, it's gonna be November, December around here. Then I'll start pushing my luck a little bit.
Man, I am about this close to having that she shed done. We got the final certificate of occupancy completion, whatever you want to call it. Got floors to put in there, got an AC to put in there. We got to do some shelving and whatnot. But we are rapidly approaching the point where we can start like making those big sizable moves to knock that thing out. And so honestly, I'm gonna take like the rest of this month and as much as I have to in September to get that thing done. And then I know I'll have all the good graces in the world to just hunt my butt off the rest of the year. So
Yeah, heck
he
yeah.
says he knows the feeling. Is it the sweaty feeling or the feeling of not burning all your good graces right from the rip? But so
Yeah.
Jacob, I got something here. It just came in today. Have you seen this stuff yet?
No, I have not, but I
Branch
used
boss?
something similar last year. Actually, Paul Putera. He's from up north. You might have heard him on a couple of
Oh
podcasts.
yeah. He's a big saddle hunter dude.
Yeah, so yeah, so he, yeah, he loves one sticking. But we can agree to disagree on the one sticking stuff in the saddle. I mean, heck, whatever puts him on the wall. But he actually turned me on to some stuff, and he was like, "Hey, you need to." We were talking about mock scrapes and stuff, and he was like, "Cause I was trying to kind of dabble in that,
Mhm.
I'm like, it's almost like to me, I guess in my mind, like it's like putting a bait pile out without putting a bait pile out. Something just to
Yeah.
pull him right there in front of the camera.
Mhm.
And so I was kind of wanting to dabble in that, and I was like, well, I heard a few people talk about it, and me and him were talking about some other things, and got talking about mock scrapes, and that's when he turned me on to that stuff, and he was like, they'll make two kinds, a liquid and a gel. He was like, get the gel, it lasts longer. And I got that, and man, I had some really good results out of that stuff.
Well, our good friend of mine and Parker's, Caleb Gamble, works with the owner of this. And dude, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like I pulled this thing out and I thought, man, I'm gonna stink up my whole daggum living room. This is a different odor. It's like actually enjoyable. And he sent me this big 4-ounce jug. He sent me a bunch of these monster bottles, so it's a spray. I hear what you're saying about the gel. I could see that. And
Yeah,
then this scrape rope kit. And evidently, this scrape rope kit, it has no natural smell. And so
right.
I got a couple really isolated locations, like remarkably isolated locations. Um, I've hung cameras there. I've never got any hunters on camera or anything like that. But they're kind of like high points in a swamp where there's almost always a scrape, but it's kind of like never
Right.
in the same spot. I'm gonna try this and give it a whirl, because I think I'm growing a fan of mock scrapes for like inventory purposes. If I
Oh,
find one that's
dude.
kind of isolated, oh man.
Yeah, dude. It's like I say, I've only been dabbling in this stuff. Like I'm no mock scrape expert by no means. I just kind of like everything else. You just kind of trial and error and use your noggin a little bit. And especially like where I live here in the mountains, I was always told growing up by like a lot of the old timers, don't hunt that scrape. That's nighttime stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I get what they're saying, but like once I started hanging cameras on scrapes, and like I never thought about them being like an early season thing, dude. It really first time I started dabbling with this, it blew my mind like how often big deer came around or to a scrape, or like you would get a picture of him, like you might have it in a saddle and you don't get a picture at all in this like big saddle, but there's a scrape in the saddle. You go over and stick it on that scrape, and more than likely you're going to catch him on it. Like he's going to come by it at some point, So
Well, and
that
that's I think that's the way in the deep south. I think that's the way you have to use mock scrapes, right? Like you're not. I don't think there's too many places that, at least in my area, the dirty south, the coastal plain. I don't think there's too
yeah,
many areas that you're going to be able to put a mock scrape or hang a camera on a natural scrape and doctor it up, right? Which is kind of
yeah,
what I lean towards, anyways.
same.
I don't think there's too many places you can go and do that and not run the risk of it also being kind of adjacent to hunter pressure. Because if you think about, like, I'm just thinking about my spot, it's all swamp. It's all swamp, and
Yeah,
then there's a ridge that comes up. Well, that's what every hunter that you can think of is going to walk down. And so hunter pressure is going to be kind of tight there. He might hit it from a lot of my cameras, they're hitting it from like 1 to 4 a.m. But if I
mm,
know he's in that area, then I can
yeah,
strategize from that. I think a lot
that's
of
it.
people are like, I'll put a camera here, I'll get a picture of him, and I'll come back and kill him. Probably not, man.
No, no, that's a terrible way to use cameras. If I don't know who it was, I heard somebody say one time. This was years ago, like when I first started listening to the podcast. Might have been on Southern Outdoorsman, something I don't know. Anyway,
Probably.
yeah, this guy was like, "Do you want to hang a picture of him on your wall, or do you want to hang him on your wall?"
Bingo.
And I was like, it's like, yeah, man, I got thinking about myself. It struck because I was like, dang, I am really good at getting pictures of big deer like early.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I feel like I can just put a camera up and bam, there's a big deer on it. But getting him killed, now that's another thing. I've caught up to a few in October, but not that like because we opened September 13th, and I don't, I can't think of I've not killed a big one in September here in North Carolina, and so something that I'm wanting to kind of work towards. Had a lot of encounters. Now I will say that, and I've
Mm-hmm.
blowed them. I've done some really stupid things and messed up a couple of really big deer early. But that goes back to the I didn't have the rust knocked off type
Mm-hmm.
of deal.
Execution, not necessarily that the plan
Ex-
wasn't a good one.
exactly. Like I just kind of fumbled the bag, so to speak. And
Yeah.
but you want to you don't want to use cameras. Not that I wouldn't hunt where a camera is. There are some spots I have that I hunt right there. I mean, I can see the camera from where I'd climb at. But that's more like rut funnel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, the early season, yeah, I'm looking more to get a picture nighttime, just a picture. I don't care if it's daytime, awesome, but I just need a picture.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I'm going to use my e-scouting. I'm going to use my boots on the ground, and I'm
Yep.
going to backtrack him. I'm going to try to figure out where he's coming. Dude, mapping software nowadays, it's so stinking cool to be able to be like, okay, yeah, I seen him here, or a big track was here. It was coming this way, and you can zoom out and get this huge like look and be like, oh wow, he had to have come from here,
Mm-hmm.
here, or here. Now there might be 5, 6, 7 options, and he might be using every one of those options, but you can find something. You can find an advantage on him, is what I'm saying. Like if he's using if he's going up some holler back into a hub. I'm actually I've got up some permit hunts this year. I've never applied for anything like that. I've always just hunted the regular old public, but we've got 2 different areas of permit only hunting here in my county, and they're both like known to have good deer. A lot of deer and good deer, and I got drawn for this certain unit in this place, and so I've never stepped foot on it, and I'm kind of breaking it down right now, and that's my whole plan. So this unit I'm looking at, it's kind of two parts, a northern and a southern part, I'll call it. And the northern part's really what I'm focused on more because all down this river bottom there's ag. Now September 1st, all those are going to be full of dove hunters, and they're going to shoot the world down. Now that's happened every year, so I'm sure the deer are used to it by now. But
Right.
there is no doubt the deer are going to use it before deer and after the dove hunters. But this place sets up so good for early because it's like 3 or 4 ridge systems with 3 or 4 big hubs at the top of them, with these big long like creek bottoms feeding out into all this ag. And so really there's like 4 big creek bottoms. Well, my plan is I'm going to try to hang a camera or 2 in each one of those creek bottoms that are feeding out into the ag, just hoping that I catch a big deer at some point in the middle of the night. I just want to know that what creek drainage he's coming out of, right? So once I figure out what drainage he's using, from there I'm gonna work. I hope I get multiple deer using those drainages, but from there, once I figure that out, I know that. And everything on top of this place, these ridge tops, are all pine and pretty mature pine. It's been cut before and I guess replanted, but it's all pine, and all those creek bottoms are hardwoods. And so you know that they're going to be dropping into those acorns, because by the time season comes in here, as a matter of fact, we've already got acorns hitting the ground. And that's another thing. Yes, sir. And that's another thing. Here where I'm at, I'm already seeing deer. You always hear early season, they're coming high, dropping low, or they're already low and staying low. These deer are bedding somewhere probably middle of the mountain, towards the top, maybe top third, and they're working up the mountain and feeding on this ridge. Some of my cameras that I have, I do not expect to have a deer on until acorns start falling or velvet comes off, and or a combination of the two. And some of those cameras are already getting deer on, and I know what it is. They're coming through looking for those acorns because just where I'm out all the time at people's houses, getting out doing in-home furniture deliveries. I'm in it, and they'll always have like some big oak, right, like next to their driveway or something. I'm always looking at people's oak trees, or when I'm out in the woods or stuff, or right here where I live, right up above my house, there's a graveyard, and our church is up there. And I'll ride around, and on the blacktop, there's a bunch of oaks that kind of hang over that blacktop, and man, those acorns are like shining on that blacktop, right? Like you're not really looking hard to see them, like you can see them. And there's acorn caps laying places, and it is a bumper crop this year. I mean, there are a ton of acorns. So I'm pretty excited about this new spot because I know I'm thinking that they're gonna bed on these ridge points, drop into this creek bottom with all these oaks, work their way out towards this ag. So that's exactly my plan. Get some nighttime pictures, and then really I'll probably just wait till season. I'm trying my best not to blow some places up that I am the world's worst for that. I'm bad to, like, I want to see what he looks like, right? Like, I know this 8-pointer lives in here. I got to see what he looks like this year. And then I feel like I go in there sometimes and mess it up. So this year I'm trying to reel myself back a little bit, and just wait, because I've got enough historical knowledge to know there's going to be a big deer in there. Let's just surprise him this year. Know, don't go in there and hang cameras. I've got some cameras on the outskirts, and I've got a couple of decent deer on camera. Kind of around those outskirts and stuff, but I'm not going into the bed and trying to blow it up. Normally I'm like just like an armadillo, like I got to turn every leaf over, but trying to.
How do you balance that though? Because what you talked about could to a lot of people sound very monotonous, right? You said the bottoms have down here we call them SMZs, right? The bottoms have oaks, the tops have pines. What features are you looking at? Because you're also talking about not blowing up. What are you looking at that says this is a concentration area?
Well, the ag down low, that's going to draw deer.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ag down low, and they're going to be on the acorns. And so what I'm going to be focusing on is there's a bunch of little up this creek drainage. There's a bunch of little little ridge points, possible places for them to bed, and down in these creek bottoms, like I say, it's more hardwood, but that creates an edge. You've got this pine, the hardwood edge that's a little bit higher. Then once you get down there towards the creek, there's more vegetation, and but again, that's going to be boots on the ground. What I'm telling you about right now, I've only looked at from a map, so I've not went in there yet. I looked at it yesterday from the road, and I actually went to the southern unit because our state actually leases stuff out for farmers to use and stuff. And there were some guys in there working in a tree field spraying. And so I thought, well, I'll go over here to the southern unit. And this is another thing too. When you're scouting, or especially e-scout, man, flipping through all these layers and getting as many views of this as possible, dude. I'm talking topos, LiDAR, recent aerial imagery. I like to go backwards and forwards through the aerial imagery to see what, is changing or has changed. And that southern unit that I'm telling you about, when I was flipping through the recent imagery, as soon as I clicked over to it, bam, giant cutover. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, that was not on my map here that I'm looking at,
Right.
So it had happened within the last couple of months, and I thought, well, that changes everything. I really wasn't eyeballing this southern unit as much, but now there's all this, new successional growth and more edge and SMZs, and there's more going on over here. And so I went over there yesterday and walked those logging roads too were bare, pretty bare mud. Which I thought was
pretty unusual for you, right? I mean, I feel like in one of our last episodes we talked about bare dirt is kind of a scarce thing.
It is. These roads are bare dirt, but the cutover's up shoulder high. Still a little earlier than what I'm normally hunting. But my thinking was it just poured, and like if I find a big buck track on this road, like it's like 12, 15 hours old. I'm probably pretty close. And so I tried to walk that road. I found a lot of deer tracks, but never really found no big buck tracks. But I got back to the back. There was a couple edges came together, and hung a camera. So we'll see what that produces. But as far as the side that I'm looking more to hunt, I'm looking forward to getting my boots on the ground and actually getting my eyes on it, because there's a lot of stuff, man. Little things, especially like down in that creek bottom where the hardwoods is. I mean, I can tell there's hardwoods there, but is there stuff up under? Even with the leaf off imagery, it's hard to tell. Is there greenbrier under it? Is there, what's growing under it? All this privet junk, is it wide open? Can you see? Because if it's wide open, that's going to change things too. It looks thicker on the map, but if it's wide open, that's going to change things too. I'm going to have to kind of change things up. So I'm looking forward to kind of breaking down this new piece of property. I love doing stuff like that. That's super fun to me.
So this permit in Florida, when I hear permit, I think 3 to 5 days.
That's it.
That's all you get.
I've got opening weekend, which is why I'm over here going ham bone right now, trying to figure this place out. And I would love to find a big deer, because just the way it sets up in this place, it's not like anything I've hunted, but it's really exciting. It looks like big deer habitat, and I feel like I could, if I find one, the way the habitat sets up, I really feel like I could get close anyway. Um, and so I've got opening weekend, the 13th, 14th, 15th, and then I have 2 weekends in October. Same unit. I have
Okay.
the second and third weekends in October, so I can build off of what I'm seeing, especially those 2 weeks in October. And
Right.
we've talked about before on some other podcasts that second and third week of October in them teen months, how there's some
Mhm.
funky stuff going on in the deer woods, and I've took advantage, and I've killed some deer right there in those teens. So I'm very excited about
Yeah.
that.
It's funny you start paying attention to those patterns. I hear people talk like you talk about it. We haven't really talked like vocally. I think I sent you all those pictures of those bucks that I got off that picture, but off that camera that recent camera pull. It's funny the patterns you pick up on, and on this particular WMA, it's like that December 1st to December 10th ish. The bucks are just
Yep.
everywhere during daylight, like every camera, all hours of the day,
Yep.
just all over the place. But
Yep.
then a different thing showed up on this last camera poll, which is yes, they were there then, but every influx of hunters that came in, those bucks showed up in that bottom and they're just running through there during the daylight. And so what you see is it telling two different stories that this is a security corridor that I found. Makes sense. There's no trees there. You can't really hunt it.
Yep.
I'm literally going to be maybe one stick high, clipped up in a little holly cluster, desperately trying not to move because the whole tree is going to be shaking. And I'll have like a 13, 14 yard. Like, I don't know how I'm going to pull it off. I'm going in either this weekend or next weekend to try and like find the tree and then try and figure out
Right.
how the hell I'm going to get to the tree. I truly have no idea how I'm going to do it. Um, so I don't know, but it's one of those things like you see the pattern, and in the
That's
past
it.
I'd argue with the pattern. Well, maybe they're moving
Yep.
over here at a different time or something. It's like, no, that's the spot. Now
Yep.
it's time to figure it out.
That's it. That's another way. You just talking about cameras, man. That's another way those cameras can help and hurt you. The cameras can tell you when the pattern's there,
Mm-hmm.
but a lot of times if you're waiting to get the picture, you're too late. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you should have been there when the
Sure.
camera went off. The bow should have went off when the camera went off.
That's right.
And so you're trying to kind of stay ahead of them, and that's why I like to use my cameras for like historical knowledge. Now, don't get me
Mm-hmm.
wrong. If I've got some that, I mean, hey, if I can get a random picture of a big deer, then I'm gonna definitely start moving him around and try to figure out his core area. But
That's right.
even then, I'm not gonna try to use the camera to kill him. It's more
Mm-hmm.
of a get the picture, get the intel, and then work it from there.
Yeah, I think
So
that's awesome, man. I'm excited for you. I've got a similar quota hunt that I drew where I get like a couple days in this month. I'm not gonna say what month it is because I don't really want to tell people. It'd be too easy to narrow it down. But a couple days in this month, a couple days in that month, and that's it. That's all you
yeah.
got, you know.
So
And so,
the same place, this place I'm talking about, I have two other party hunts with some friends because that's the way I got drawn. We entered in a party,
nice.
uh, I have two. We have two other ones that the drawing doesn't the applications. I'm sorry, doesn't stop till September 1st, and that is for November hunts and December hunts. So I have a good possibility of drawing a November
Mm-hmm.
and December multiple dates over there. So I'm really looking forward to it because it's a historically had bigger deer than what I'm used to hunting here. There's a great chance of seeing a 150 plus in there. Where
Well, and that's where I was about to lead this is like it sounds like you're taking away from your routine areas.
yes,
So what is it about like what are you going into this hunt with? Like what's the expectation that makes it to where at the end of the season you're not like God, I just wish I had hunted those flat tops I had, those load and
yeah,
deck areas that I had. Like what is it
yeah.
what does that look like for you?
Well, first off, I do know for a fact there are some big deer in here. When I say big, I mean bigger. Genetics are, I feel like, better. All the ag, dude,
Mhm.
all the early successional growth. This place is managed to get max out of the gene pool that they have, right? Whereas here in the mountains, they're daggum kind of scraping around more so than they are, This place is like the buffet over here. I was over here driving around yesterday, just riding, looking at it from the road, and I was like, this place is unbelievable. Standing corn all down the river bottoms, sunflowers. I know that's for the dove hunters, but the deer eat them too.
Yeah.
But for me, it's knowing that there's better genes, better habitat. It's something different. I'm all about having fun. I've told you that before. It's why I like to ground hunt and stalk and things like that, is because I'm gonna have fun with it. You know what I mean? If you're not having fun, then what's the point of doing it? But breaking down new property like that is fun for me. And a friend of mine drew a turkey permit, which is like the holy grail of turkey permits. This place is insane, and I don't think they give out but like 10 per unit per week. I mean, oh yeah, and they got them. I've actually had the opportunity to go 2 years in a row, and I've seen 4 birds shot at. Now, I've only seen one die. I've only seen one die, but I've seen 4 birds. I mean, should have died. They all 4 should have died, but I've seen four birds shot at. So, I mean, they got them. But walking around in turkey season in there, I was like, I have got to. And they really were like, well, I mean, you can get you're pretty much guaranteed to get one, if you just apply. So, I got one, or we all applied for them and got them, and I was super excited. And like I say, the whole breaking down a new property, that's super fun to me. The better genetics, I got a feeling there are some. I mean, I'm going to get to hunt big deer in here, and something else that's fun is the water access. You got a chance to walk up here in the mountains, buddy. It's you're in
water
your
access is using a creek.
Yeah, you're on the Subarus, buddy. That's what you're on. You're on the Subarus, and so getting to daggum use a boat or my canoe to go in, I just think that's cool. Like giving a buck a boat ride, I think that's going to be cool. And then on top of that, just something new, a challenge to myself. I almost feel like, not that it's not a challenge to kill one here in the mountains, but
it's just gotten too easy for you.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I just wake up in the morning and piss excellence, and I don't know. But no, I just, like I say, the different habitat, something new.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be fun breaking down the property.
Sure.
Because you can be on it scouting anytime. You just can't. And you can't. I actually had my bike yesterday loaded up. I was wanting to ride these roads, and I get over there and like back in, unload the bike, like getting ready to take off down the road, and I'm like, I'm gonna read these signs. No bicycles unless actively hunting. I'm like, oh God. Back to the Subarus, my boy.
Time to huff it.
Yeah. So I posted a story on my Facebook. So that southern unit that I went and looked at yesterday, that big giant clear cut, I said it's up to about your shoulders high. So there is a knob there that you can glass the entire thing. I mean, you might have to walk 50 yards this way, but it's an old loading. It's a big loading dock right on top. And I've got plans to go back over there a night or two and glass that cut over too, and just see what I can see come out of that. Because all that stuff like that, man, no, I do not get to do anything like that. All those ag fields out there, you can see them from the road in spots. So I've got plans to go over there and glass those fields in the evening. I'm lucky enough to have a good friend that has a little piece of private land and a private road that runs through it that I haven't talked to him yet, but I'm pretty positive I can get access to this, and I can use this road legally with my truck, and I can drive down through there and glass all these tree fields, corn, they got CRP, they've got the sunflowers, they've got a couple of rye and wheat and stuff like that, grain fields, and I can just put out through I've never got to do anything like that up here. And so, dude, that just has it's like I don't know, it's got a whole new fire kind of lit under me to just all this new kind of get ways of getting to hunt the river bottom and the ag and everything. I like it, man. It's got me fired up.
It's always funny because I think people when they start getting comfortable with something, they start finding different ways to challenge themselves.
Yeah.
I was talking to Kyle Huffstutler, who's a Patreon member, and we were talking about a variety of different things, and one of the things that popped into his mind that he was talking about most notably is that he kept hearing about swamps and flatland. It's so easy to hunt hill country because you know where the deer are going, right? And so he kind of got curious and he tested that, and he adores hunting swamps. And I think there's something to be said for like you kind of want the thing you don't have. If you've got long straight hair, you wanted long curly hair, and if you have no
That's
hair,
it.
you wanted hair, and if you have hair, you're tired of haircuts, right? Like there's some kind of like proximity bias that comes into play there. But you know, I think when you look at the guys who are starting to get it done, they're starting to get confident. They start testing those boundaries. Last year, I don't have the deer to prove, like to say I've figured it out. But last year, I wanted to try hill country, right? I went and got my teeth kicked in. I validated some areas. I invalidated other areas. In fact, the areas that were most like home, I got my teeth kicked in. And the camera that I put on the ridge tops, where I thought, where everybody said, deer like to travel during the rut, got a bunch of decent bucks on camera, right? And pick
Yeah.
those spots out all on my own. I refuse to take pins from anybody. And
Right.
so it's interesting to hear you say that because it feels like you're on that similar trajectory.
Yeah. So you said something right there. Me and a friend of mine, when we were fishing earlier, we were talking about this. Another reason I feel like my confidence is just a little bit higher, even though this place is new, um, is I was telling him, I was like, how come you take all these out of state trips that I've went on, and you think I'm like, I don't have but 3 to 10 days somewhere in that. I've took different dates, ranges of days off or to do this, and and I'm like, how statistically, like, only one or two of my out of state hunts that I can think of, maybe three, but let's just say I've been on 7. I've only not killed in like a good deer on like 3 of them, right? And I'm like, I feel like statistically, I am like very good out of state, and I'm like, why is that? Why do I spend all of my time and my efforts at the house, right, running all these cameras, and I know the places. I'm talking about like the back of my hand. These are areas I've spent my whole life in, and I struggle and like grind out all season to like. I feel like I have to really grind out here in the mountains, but I'll go somewhere else. Heck, even mountains like West Virginia this past year. Go up there and 8 days kill a bigger deer. Killed one of the biggest deer that I've ever killed. Second biggest I've ever killed with a bow, and I'm like, why is that? And me and him were talking. He was like, well, it's easy. You just overthink it. You ever think it at the house when you go out of state, you're just running off instinct. When you get a new place you ain't never been, you just have to run off of, woodsmanship and instinct. And he was like, I think you kind of overthink things a little bit at the house. And I was like, that right there is why everybody thinks they have the hardest deer in the world to kill. I mean, and
that's
everybody
a
I know.
Great point. Say
Yeah.
that again slowly for the people in the back.
So I feel like that is exactly why people think they have the hardest deer in the world to kill. I hear people. I mean, no. Again, I'm not knocking on anyone because, but I've heard people from Alabama before. I mean, you would think that hearing them talk, that they're like ghosts down there, and you can't find one. And it's like I was down there in daggum 3 days, shot a nice drop tine deer on public, like not far from the truck. I'm like, this is great. What are you talking about? Y'all got great hunting down here. Seen an even bigger deer. But it's just it's what I went back to. I think people a lot of times they overthink it. They don't just run off of natural instinct and woodsmanship.
Right.
They really try to overanalyze everything and get so technical, and they analyze their way right out of the game. Really.
Oh, I completely agree, and I mean that was my whole philosophy last year was like not thinking. Like I know that sounds really silly, and I know there's somebody who's like, but like seriously, like just not not allowing myself to get lost in the decisions. And I found that a lot of times I validated suspicions I had by ignoring that and being like, I know I should walk. I'll give you one example. I busted a really nice 8-point that I had on camera that summer. I put in all the time to find the deer, got him in velvet. He was in this area. And I was like, I need to go through the water. Like, I need to wade across this pond. It's like knee-deep water. It's cool enough. There won't be any gators and snakes. I need to go across a water access. And instead, I was like, I'll just make a big, wide loop around him. Maybe I scent bump him, but I'll be in the security cover before he gets there. And I'm walking down the trail, and I see two eyes to my left. I cut on my light, and sure enough, there's a doe, and he's laying right there, right where I thought he would be. And I did exactly what I knew if I had just walked through that water to where I needed to be. Another hunter would have parked at that gate. Another hunter would have walked down there. It would have got that deer up on his feet, and I would have been the recipient of that deer coming down that back trail. And so a lot of times when I overthought things, I had those kind of encounters. I'm like, keep it simple, right? Kiss. Like, I just need that tattooed across my forehead. Just kiss.
Right. Yeah, man. You have to, because you can really overthink things. And I'll tell you what I blame for that. I blame podcasts.
I do too.
I know we're on one right now.
Mm-hmm.
But me and you were talking about this privately the other day, man. Podcasts are great, but they have their place, and they're so situational, man. They're so it's there's no cookie cutter answer for everything. I made a post the other day on my Facebook. I had my setup sitting there, my new bag that I got from some loser, and on a real deal. And then I had my new one stick set up there and everything, and I picked it up, and I just happened to be outside with it, and my old Summit was sitting there on the porch of my.
I saw
building.
the picture.
And man, I set them beside each other, and I was looking at them, and I was like, that is so crazy, like how far it's come. And I got to thinking, I was like, man, I remember having my book bag bungee corded to that thing, those god awful straps that came with it, cutting in my shoulders, running around the mountains trying to kill something, and just had a real passion to want to shoot big deer, you know.
Right.
And I thought, all of those miles that I had under that thing, and all those mistakes, and all those hours I toted that thing around, and what I learned toting that stinking climber around is the reason I can take this setup and be more efficient, you know, not and be a better hunter, not just a more efficient hunter, but a better hunter. Because you know, I feel like it's time in the woods, man. You got to have time in the woods, and and you got to use your noggin when you're out there. Try to learn something, you know what I mean? Try to put your thinking cap on. Use a little common sense when you're out there about it.
Yeah, I think that a lot of times people listen to podcasts. You know what you said about, you know, podcasts kind of being the problem. Yeah, I completely agree. And I think a lot of times that problem, if you want to acknowledge it, is the fact that people are coming to a podcast looking for an answer. Right?
That's it.
And the reality is, you know, you can read a manual on how to fix a car, but at some point in time, you got to learn how to diagnose the problem.
That's
right.
it, dude.
And a lot of times, and this is kind of like an uncomfortable truth. It's one that is truly not easy to talk about, but a lot of times that problem is you and I. It's the thing between the ears, right? It's thinking about it a little too long for a little too hard for a little too long. And I think it's just one of those things that if we could just slow down a little bit and just be like, okay, here's the deal. Here's where the pressure is. Here's a safe travel corridor, right? Here's an area that I think this deer could be bedded up. A lot of times it is that linear, right? And it takes time and it takes effort. But when I got stupid simple about it, and I would wake up some days, dude, legitimately, I'd wake up and be like, what wind do I have? North-northeast. Okay. The first stand that I have confidence in my map for a north-northeast wind, that's where I'm going. Doesn't matter what my cameras have been saying anywhere else. I'm going to the stand that has the best access and wind for a north-northeast. It worked. A lot of times I was on deer.
Yep. It will, man. And I had a hunt about 3 years ago now, 3, 4, gosh, maybe longer than that. But it really kind of opened my eyes to it. I was walking in a old cutover down this road, and there was a power line that actually paralleled the road and went right through the middle of this cutover.
Mhm.
And I was trying to figure out, should I sit on the high side of this road or the low side of this road, because there's some bedding over here, but there's bedding down here. And again, here I am starting to get, trying to getting crazy about it. And I'm like, I mean, I could, just climb one of these trees right here and like watch this road tonight, and I thought, but that would be, that's almost too simple. You know what I mean? Like, almost feel like I need to be on one side or the other. I just climbed the road. Dude had an encounter with a buck that night, seen all kinds of deer, got all kinds of intel about where they were crossing that power line at. And I'm like, golly, dummy. Like, you could have been, hunting here the whole time. And what I liked about that was I was worried that once I get off this road, it's loud. I mean, it's dead quiet up on the mountain, but as soon as I get off this road, it's going to be loud. Or I could just climb right here on the road, try to keep it simple, just be real quiet, see what I can see tonight. And I mean, ended up having an encounter with a nice buck. Ended up seeing all kinds of, where deer were crossing at. Kind of got an idea about where some deer were bedding at, and I was like, I gotta start doing this more often. Just keeping it simple. Just don't overthink it.
It's really easy to do, and I'm saying that because I don't want to trivialize this for anybody. It's something that's really tough.
Let me just go ahead and tell you that I will, on opening day, be over at Johns River with sweat running off of my forehead in the dark with a headlamp with FOBO worse than anybody you have ever met in your life, needing a straight Xanax because my anxiety is so high. Like, wondering, oh my God, should I go to this heart? Should I go to this hub? Should I go to this hub?
Right.
So yeah, I'm not speaking like I've mastered that or anything. I'm just speaking from knowing that I am bad for it. Like I way overthink things a lot of times, and deep whitetail thoughts, we'll say, have their place, but at the same time, you don't want to get too crazy with it.
Absolutely. Brett says hi. I think the last time he got to see you face to face was our Patreon turkey hunt.
The last time I seen Brett smash burn was we were in the pouring rain in Florida looking at his turkey. Yes, sir. Looking at his turkey.
Yeah. He killed about half of the continental U.S.'s turkey population this year. That dude, look, during deer season, we were talking about, I don't get jealous very often. I truly do not. Like, my buddies kill big deer. I have no illusions of being a big buck killer. If I kill a couple Bascaracs next year, I'm going to tell you right now, they'll be right there. I got wall space for it, okay? I mean, like, deer like that will just get stacked up until my wife says no. Or it's a fire hazard, something like that.
Right.
But it's one of those things where Brett went on a tear during turkey season this year. It was like during deer season, he's like, I haven't been in the woods for 11 days. He walks into the woods, shuts his truck door, and accidentally snaps a 110-inch deer's neck with the truck door. And it's just like, oh, yep, he killed one there. Didn't mind that. But the dude went on like a 6-bird kill tear this year. I think he killed 4 birds in Alabama and killed 2 in Florida, I think, or 1 in Florida, something like that. And it's just like, dude.
I know he killed 1 in Florida.
Yeah. I wanted to unfriend the Joker, man. It was ridiculous.
I'm telling you, some people are hard to be friends with.
Yeah, especially during turkey season.
Especially during turkey season. That's right, man. Oh, heck. Hunting, man, it's like everything else. You go on, you get hot, you know what I mean? It's just like somebody playing baseball. You'll get hot, and then sometimes you're just not.
Yeah.
Go on, and you'll go on like a hitting streak. You know what I mean? You'll go on some tear and kill 3 or 4 bucks one year, and the next year, like, you are straight grinding and might kill 1.
Yeah, I don't know what that's like, but I've heard about that. So. Well, dude, you're gonna hunt these permits. Are you going out of state? It's a typical thing in the Deep South that in November. We abandon home. We go on a long venture across the country for the chance at something big. Is that in your future for this year as well?
That is in my future. Yes, sir.
Okay.
We have been planning rutcation actually the last few days. trying to get everything nailed down, figuring out exactly what we're going to do. So this year, I've got Virginia tags or a Virginia license still from turkey season. I went to
Okay.
Virginia, I killed a bird up there, and I thought, heck, I'll come back and deer hunt this year just because I've got this license, and their license aren't yearly; it's a 365. And I thought, well, I don't have to do anything but buy a permit. So me and Elliot actually went up. I know you got. I know you remember Elliot. Uh, me and Elliot went to Virginia and did a little scouting. I guess it was about 3 or 4 weeks ago now. We went up one night and actually camped, and then got up the next morning and scouted, and was very, very surprised. Like what we found some killer stuff. I mean, me and him kind of sat around that night and we're looking at each other's pins, and we had some that were kind of overlapping in an area, and we were like, well, we both got overlapping pins here, so we'll go check it out. And it turned out to be great. I think he left a cell camera there, and found some really good stuff. So I'll be going back sometime in October to Virginia, hopefully. And it's not far away where I'm hunting at. It's not real far across the line, so it's not anything crazy. Like, honestly, I could leave one morning, hunt all day, and come home, and it not really be a huge deal. So it's looking like Virginia one time in October. I'm going to try to go back November 1st for muzzleloader opener. And then we'll be coming back again the 10th of November, the 9th of November. And from the 9th to the 11th, I'm going to hunt Virginia, and then I'm going back to West Virginia the rest of that week. I'm going to pack up camp Tuesday night and head up to meet the boys in West Virginia, and I'll be hunting same area in West Virginia again for the rest of that week.
That's awesome, man.
So,
That's killer.
yeah, man, I am super stoked. Looking forward to all that. So I enjoy going out of state, and that's I honestly enjoy. Again, it's the whole new, like seeing something new. I mean, I love building historical knowledge on places, but just the whole, like, ain't never been there, and then you come out with one. It's a different kind of accomplishment, I guess you would say.
Sure.
It's not the I really grinded. I mean, you grind, but it's not like I spent 3 years scouting this place. I've come in here in like 7 days and killed one. And that, man, I think that goes back to us talking about overthinking a lot of things, and me being a little better, like out of state. Like I guess I should say my percentages are better, like out of state. And I could tell a lot of times when I get back home from those out-of-state hunts, I kind of have like a different mindset, I guess, so to speak. And I feel like I start scouting more, like when I get home. Like, so I go to this new place, and I've scouted, and like that scouting has produced what I've killed, like a good deer. And like a lot of times I feel like I come home, and even though I know I've got these historical places, I still really, I'm like, you know what, I need to start scouting a little more, at the house here again. Even though I know this place, 10 years of knowledge, something may have changed. And I feel like I start in-season scouting, man, is like absolutely priceless. If there is one thing that I could tell people, like, burn a hunt and scout.
That's a delicate balance, though.
It is. But that, for me, in the last, because I do that out of state, and a lot of times people get that in their mind, like, I've got to hunt every day that I'm here. You can hunt and scout at the same time.
Sure.
Okay, I do it all the time. I say I'm scouting, and I'll tell people, hey, I've scouted 5 days to hunt too, but really I've kind of scouted and hunted. I never scout in deer season without my bow or without my rifle, and and I'm always slipping, like especially in season. I'm trying to slip around, and that last hour, heck, wherever I end up, a lot of times I'll just kind of catch a tree and sit the last hour. And heck, I've had encounters like that, you know. But my brain, sorry, that's just the way my brain works. We was talking. I know we were talking about out of season, and I was like, you know, when I always come back and have like a different, you know, confidence is riding high, but I always come back and feel like, even though you know these spots, because when I get back from out of state hunts, it's rut time here.
Right.
I mean, as soon as I get done there, it's right here as soon as I get home. So I always kind of come home with like a different mindset. That goes back to like, why can't I get it done in 7 days somewhere I've never been, but I can't get it done in 70 days somewhere that I've been my whole life.
Right.
And that last year, I guess the reason I say that is because last time I was on, I was talking to Parker. We were talking about kind of grinding it out, you know, and when things aren't going your way, you know, still kind of grinding it out. And the West Virginia buck on my out-of-state trip was the first deer I'd killed that year, last year.
Really?
So that was, and that was November the 13th, 14th, 11th, 13th. Anyway, somewhere in there. And I ended up killing 4 bucks last year. So I didn't kill the first one until November. And when I got home, I mean, I was like, okay, this is ridiculous that I can't, you know, why can't I go out of state and do this? And I was like, you've got to do what you do when you go out of state. Start looking at this place like you've never walked it before, you know.
Do you still do that to like if you had a honey hole, like just like a tried and true, are you still taking that same approach then too?
Oh, absolutely. I'll walk around it, you know, even if it's some rut funnel, I'll walk around it, walk through it. Especially if I'm not seeing anything, you know. Sure. I'm like, what's changed? Something's going on here. If the camera's dead and I'm not seeing anything, something's got to give. I'm not going to sit there and just, you know. And that's another thing. A lot of times my honey holes in the mountains, I can think of one that it's like no matter what mast does or no matter what happens, there's going to be a big deer come through there. But I can't think of but like one place. Other than that, a lot of these honey holes are based off of what mast does and things of that nature, you know, like where the deer are.
Sure.
Because here in the mountains, acorns have a huge effect on elevation, where the deer are and stuff like that. So sometimes when we get acorns honey, I've got honey holes, and if there's a dry year, I know some honey holes, or if it's spotty, you know, I know some honey holes.
Yeah,
so that's that. And so why do I have all this historical knowledge and still can't daggum kill? You know,
wouldn't that be like the ultimate flex though? Like going out of state, you're painting the picture a little bit of it being easy. By comparison, isn't the ultimate flex staying home and having that, and then showing that there is no home field advantage?
It like really is, but I don't know, man. It's
out of town.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And it's not it, but the out of town hunts are by no means easy. You know what I mean? It's not easy. It's just I think the way I approach them is different. I put in as much work here at the house as I do out of state. I mean, I really, really work hard for these deer, but it's not. It's just it's a different approach. Back to the overthinking things. I know. I'll tell you what it is. I know too much about this place. Whereas when I go in and don't have I have no what do you call that?
Preconceived notions.
There you go. No preconceived notions. It's a lot easier on you. I feel like around here, you know, I'll be like, well, I know I need to sit here, but 10 years ago, I seen a buck come down this trail over here, and it might happen again tonight. You know,
exactly.
And you just end up picking the wrong tree. So, yeah, we've been planning. I've been trying to get my wife. My wife has a calendar. She had it down the other day, and she was like, "All right, now you take a pen," and she's like, "You write down all these days, that you're going to be gone. Are you going to be gone here?" I'm like, "Yep." I'm like, she's like, "What about here?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll probably be gone then too." So
my I'm starting a new job, and one of the things I had to do was put down on a piece of paper basically all my PTO for the fall, and it's not inclusive or exclusive. I don't know how. It's too late for big words. But like it's not that I couldn't ask for more, but there were a couple big dates that I put on there, and my wife, she's not used to me taking September off from deer season basically, and
right.
she's like, what do you think about us going to the beach on this weekend? I'm like, yeah, sure, put it on the calendar. I don't care. And she's like, what do you think about me doing this in early October? I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever you want to do. And she's like, what do you think about doing this in November? I'm like, nope, nope. That word started with an N,
Yeah,
and it's a hard pass.
yeah,
Like, nope, no. October, November, December, January might
yeah.
be
It's
a tough.
called it's called November for a reason because no, I'm not doing anything you want me to.
That's it.
The
That's
answer
it.
is no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I told my wife last night, I was like, I am so ready for like
Mm-hmm.
hunt all day Saturday, come home, watch a little college football
Dadgum right.
on X while I'm watching checking scores, and then back to the deer stand, and then back to the house for some more college football.
Yeah. Yeah,
those
absolutely.
are, I mean, those are the days.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I've
Those
got
are,
a 4-year-old now that's like attached at my hip. And
yeah,
the current plan is for me to hunt the mornings and be home in time to kick the smoker off, fire up the Blackstone, cook some meat, stuff like that, and be able to hang
heck
out.
yeah,
And frankly, just mainly, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get out the house if I don't leave before he's up. I don't think I'm leaving, man, because
yeah.
it's gonna kill me to try and leave him because he is just like my ride or die buddy right now.
Yeah, my oldest little girl's like that. I took her glassing the other night, and oh man, she loves it. The road we live on is very rural, and so I let her. Everybody plug your ears. I let her sit up front,
Hmm. Hmm.
and,
Right.
and we'll ride down the road, and there's all the time does on the side of the road. And we'll pull up next to them, and she's got like my old binoculars, and she'll like look at them. And I'm like, honey, they're like 25 foot. You don't have to use binoculars. It's only when they're like at the other end of the field we'll use the
Yeah.
binoculars. She's
Yeah.
like up here counting ticks on them or something. Uh, but yeah, it's fun to get the family out and do stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like I plan on getting my wife and the girls out, going and getting ice cream and
Hmm.
riding around and glassing those fields over at the permit area. You know what I
That's
mean?
right.
Like, heck, get them involved. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Uh, and make it family oriented. It's a lot better than being like, oh yeah, here you stay here with the two
Yeah.
hellions while I go ride around and look for a deer.
Right.
Everybody can just go with you.
Well,
Makes it easier on you.
and I've got a reliable boat now that's real easy to put in with a 4-year-old, and so, I was talking to Elena the other day that it's not going to get cold here until November. So
Yeah,
I can in the afternoons I can give her a break, and we can go for a
yeah,
boat ride. We can go ride the river. We can go do whatever and check trail cameras. Right? I'll put Blaze Orange on them, and we'll go pull river cameras that are right there on the side of the river. It'll be nice and cool
yeah.
out. Take my time getting out there. Take my time coming back. I think Parker was talking the other day about how inconvenient kids are, but
They
how
really are.
absolutely irreplaceable that time is with them if you take them out there at the same time. Like
That is
we took
absolutely true.
yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like I want to force myself to be uncomfortable, but that means I have to be here, which means I need to go before he gets up. you
Yeah,
know.
exactly right. Yeah, man, I enjoy take my youngest one's too young. She's only a year old,
Hmm.
but my oldest one, she's 3 going on 13. It seems like, and so uh, a lot of times I'll take her with me, and she likes. I got a couple of private spots, and one spot I have not looking to really get anything, but what I like to do is we'll take a cell camera over there, and I'll put a bag of corn out, uh, either on our land or somewhere I know that I'm going to get pictures of deer, And so I'll put that out and then be like, Molly, at night, I'm like, my phone's going off. We're getting pictures of deer where that corn you put out is. And it just, oh man, it just makes her night. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And she loves I'll take her and we'll ride the 4-wheeler out and over to the land or something. And I'll take a 50-pound sack of corn and open it up and just set it in front of her. And for the next 20 minutes, a very satisfied kid. I mean, just daggum throwing corn everywhere. Now, her mom's not the happiest when she comes home with corn in her daggum pockets and in her crops and everything else, But dude, she has an absolute ball, just throwing corn out and stuff. And then we get cell cam pictures and stuff. So it's fun. I like anytime, man, you can take two things that you really love and put them together. I mean, it's like having your cake and eating it too, right?
That's it, man.
Yeah.
Well, dude, I appreciate the heck out of you taking some time out your evening. One day, we've shared turkey camp. We're gonna hopefully do it again next year? ? As long as you bring Elliot, you're okay.
Yeah. Elliot's gonna want to come. That's for sure. Yeah.
What's his real name?
Trevor.
I'm not gonna lie to you, I can't remember that kid's name. It's terrible. He's Elliot forever now.
He's Elliot, man. Heck, what are you talking, dude? We've been calling him Elliot here at the house. Like, I've been calling him Elliot. Yeah, I've been calling him Elliot. Like,
that's amazing. This man's gonna have a complex. He's gonna develop some kind of like split personality, But
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. He's gonna see this. He's gonna hear this or see this, and I'm not gonna lie, dude. He looks like an Elliot, doesn't he?
He does,
doesn't he? He does. He looks just like an Elliot.
He does, and I don't mean that in any kind of derogatory format. Like, he just looks like an Elliot. Like, he just
looks like an Elliot.
He does, man. He does. But Elliot's would shoot Jakes in Florida.
Absolutely. We show no mercy. Elliot show no mercy.
Oh man, the Captain Insano equivalent in Florida Turkey was. That's it.
There's no mercy.
Let's put a pin in this before we Elliot just commented.
Did he?
Oh man. Well, let's put a pin in this, man. I appreciate it. I'm gonna be following along. Keep me posted as we go. I'm gonna do the same. I've got a bunch of scout and cameras I got to get put out. It's basically, I tell everybody, it's still July for me. I got plenty of time. So.
Yeah, dude. I appreciate you having me on, dude. I'm sorry. I'm so scatterbrained, dude. Like, I try to stay on topic, man, but I get so and I'll be trying to talk about one topic and then something else pops in my brain and it's just, I'll end up running some rabbit. But I do appreciate you having me on. And I don't know if I've told you already, but man, I really appreciate the invite. And y'all, it was awesome getting to come to Florida with y'all and hang out with everybody and meet everybody. I love the hunt camp atmosphere, and I'm looking really forward to hopefully doing that some more, hopefully with deer, because that'll be before turkey. So hopefully get a hunt camp with everybody again, dude. I had an absolute ball. And some of those dudes down there, dude, I'm still talking to, like Matty Ice. Old Matty Ice, man, me and him still talk. Matt Baggett, me and him, we really hit it off,
baby. Money bag
Matt. Yeah, we all hit it off. But yeah, dude, looking forward to all that. I appreciate you having me on. I always enjoy talking to you and doing these. So,
well, we set the dates for the deer Patreon hunt, and I can guarantee you it will conflict with none of your hunts. So,
I guarantee that.
Yeah, we're not. We're not going to put it on the airwaves here, but if you guys want to be a part of the world's best digital deer camp, meet some like-minded guys, find guys that are talking about the things you're thinking about year-round, and then that also includes 2 invites, one to our deer camp, one to our turkey camp. We would love to have you, and Jacob is gone. Nope, he's back. All right. But
nope,
it's okay.
I'm back.
We're about to stop this anyways, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, bud.
Appreciate you, my friend.
All right.